Alain and Marie Duval encountered something incredible that hardly anyone would believe. Some time ago, Alain became so engrossed in his work that he forgot about their plan to visit a new house with the wife. Marie had already met with the realtor. After waiting for Alain, they looked at the house. It was a beautiful 2-story cottage. The couple decided on it and were already in the process of moving. In the evening, they opened a bottle of champagne to celebrate the occasion. The couple reminisced about how the realtor showed them all the rooms. Marie thought the house was too spacious for the two of them, but Alain on the contrary liked that there was plenty of room. The realtor suggested they look in the basement where there was a hatch. Marie thought it was a sewer, but the realtor assured them that what they were about to see would change their lives forever. The couple was puzzled. The realtor only said that they wouldn't believe it unless they experienced it themselves. Early in the morning, Marie woke her husband and suggested they go down the hatch. Alain was initially curious about what was below, but Marie thought it was strange and felt uncomfortable. In the present, Marie never managed to wake up her husband, who was exhausted after the move. When they descended into the hatch following the realtor earlier, he mentioned the importance of closing the lid, or it wouldn't work. All three somehow found themselves in the same house but on the top floor. The realtor brought water to the shocked clients to give them an opportunity to recover. After that, he explained that by going through the tunnel, they had moved 12 hours forward in time. It seemed impossible, but it was a fact. Alain could accept that it was true since time is flexible, as often discussed by cosmologists and physicists. But what Alain didn't understand was how they had ended up at the top when they came down. The realtor said that time travel is not the only incredible thing happening here. The realtor was going to give the couple some time to think before making a decision about the purchase. They agreed to discuss everything in the evening. It wasn't easy to comprehend what had happened today. Marie couldn't stop thinking about it. In the present, while her husband slept, she was going down the tunnel alone. Yesterday, having finished the hustle and bustle of the move, the couple celebrated the event. The next day their friends, Gerard and Jean, visited, noticing an old car in the yard. Marie still hadn't shown up. Alain wasn't too concerned, knowing for sure that his wife was in the house. Meanwhile, Marie, having gone through the tunnel, found herself on the top floor and saw her husband and friends through the window. They were having dinner, drinking wine, listening to music and chatting. Gerard is not even Alain's friend, but his boss. Outside of working hours, they got along quite well. Jean wanted to share something personal, but Gerard said it wasn't the right moment. The spouses started arguing, and Marie assumed that Jean was pregnant. However, that turned out to be untrue. By the way, Marie and Alain cannot have children and have long come to terms with it. In the end, Gerard revealed that he had undergone a plastic surgery on his male part, installing an electronic device instead of the real organ. This was the last thing Marie and Alain expected to hear, but Jean looked absolutely satisfied. Since friends had shared something personal, Alain also wanted to tell them the secret. However, Marie stopped her husband, saying that it was between the two of them. The thing is, time travel 12 hours forward is not the only secret of this house. Every time they pass through the tunnel, they become 3 days younger. Marie knows that if they share this secret with anyone else, there will be no turning back. When they had seen the guests off, Alain was tidying up the kitchen and Marie descended into the tunnel once again. Meanwhile, Jean and Gerard, on their way home, discussed the recent conversation. Jean was sure that Alain was impressed by the news of the plastic surgery, but Gerard didn't think so. In the morning, Alain was preparing breakfast, but Marie still hadn't come down. Alain knew she was in the tunnel, so he loudly warned that he was heading to work. Gerard called Alain into his office room and asked if he had been too overwhelming with the talk about his surgery the day before. Alain reassured him that everything was fine and that both he and Marie were impressed. They were just confused and didn't know how to react. The conversation was interrupted by an important call. Meanwhile, Marie came out of the tunnel and later browsed through photos of herself in her youth. More than anything, she wished to return to that time, so she descended into the tunnel again. Gerard couldn't stop thinking about the dinner and how Marie wasn't impressed. Jean advised him not to dwell on it. After all, he was doing it for his girlfriend, not for anyone else. Marie descended from the tunnel only in the middle of the night and woke her husband up because she missed him. Alain mentioned a strange event this afternoon. The neighbor's cat sneaked into their house and went down to the basement, as if it knew exactly where to go. Then the animal sat on the hatch cover and started meowing loudly. This seemed eerie to Alain. The animal seemed like it wanted to tell him something. Marie announced that she had rejuvenated by 9 days, unlike her husband. She has no intention of stopping there and descended into the tunnel again in the hope of regaining lost youth. At work, Gerard noticed that Alain was troubled by something. Since Gerard was also having problems at home, he offered him a distraction. The men went to the shooting range. It helped Gerard relieve stress, but Alain wasn't enthusiastic about the idea of shooting. When Gerard took a bigger gun, he fell due to the recoil. It dealt a painful blow to his ego. Although Alain tried to reassure him that nothing serious happened, Gerard's anger knew no bounds. In the car, Gerard tearfully confessed to Alain that his electronic device had unexpectedly malfunctioned, and none of its functions were working. As such operations aren't performed in Europe, Gerard urgently needed to fly to Japan. He asked Alain to cover for him with the subordinates and not tell anyone about it, including Jean. Alain promised to handle everything appropriately. Marie went through the time tunnel again and again. She constantly looked at herself in the mirror, trying to find changes in her appearance. This time Marie decided to conduct an experiment and took a rotten apple with her. Alain met with Jean, saying that Gerard had to leave on a business trip urgently. However, Jean didn't believe it and suspected Gerard of infidelity. She suggested Alain have some fun, but he declined. Before leaving, he gave Jean Gerard's house keys. Alain's been busy at work, so unlike Marie, he couldn't afford to lose 12 hours of his life every day. At home, Alain found a note from his wife, saying "see you tomorrow." Alain didn't like that Marie spent all her time in that tunnel. Outside, he saw the neighbor's cat again. Alain decided to bring the animal inside and placed it on the hatch cover. However, this time, the cat's behavior was entirely normal. Marie woke her husband in the middle of the night and showed him a fresh apple that had recently been rotten. This proved that the rejuvenation effect was working. Marie said it was much better than money, fame, or any other blessings. However, the husband didn't share her enthusiasm at all because he had entirely different concerns. To buy this house, they had taken a mortgage, so Alain was forced to work hard. Marie couldn't believe that her husband was thinking about such mundane things while there was a spatial-temporal paradox in their home. When Alain took a bite of the apple, it was crawling with ants inside. The next day the couple went to the doctor. They looked confused and did not know where to start, for their question was strange, to say the least. They are concerned about whether ants can live inside a person. Later on the way home, the spouses argued. Alain believes that the tunnel rejuvenates a person only externally, while internally they age by 12 hours each time. But Marie doesn't care. She wants to be at least externally beautiful. At home, Marie suggested that her husband personally check if she is rotting from the inside. He asked her to calm down. Marie accused Alain of not caring about her. When she gets younger, she intends to pursue a modeling career and achieve worldwide fame. Despite all of Alain's attempts to convince his wife, she descended into the tunnel again. Meanwhile, Gerard was on the operating table. The surgeon engineer was fixing his electronic device. Alain went to the supermarket and received a call from Gerard, who just now remembered that today is Jean's birthday. He asked Alain to buy her some gift on his behalf. The most important thing here is not the gift itself but the attention. Alain had a brilliant idea. The surgeon announced that the operation was successful. However, when the doctor restarted Gerard's electronic device, it completely burned out. Seeing the realtor in the parking lot, Gerard approached him and asked if the tunnel was dangerous for a person's mental health. The realtor said that it could really drive a person crazy if taken lightly. The realtor advised Alain to concrete the tunnel if it was causing so many problems. Having packed a soft toy, Alain went to Jean's workplace and caught her with her lover. The couple didn't even notice him. Marie constantly looks in the mirror but hasn't seen the desired changes yet. Meanwhile, the surgeon explains in detail to desperate Gerard the workings of the device. Marie and Alain constantly argue because of the tunnel. Gerard found himself on the operating table again. Alain is the only one whose life is progressing as usual. Marie began to take meticulous care of her appearance. Finally, Gerard returned from Japan. Alain met him at the airport. When attempting to charge the car, something went wrong, and it caught fire. The Duval spouses gathered again with Gerard and Jean at the same table. Everyone was drinking and having fun as usual. In general, life goes on. Or is it just an illusion? Scandals in the Duval house started happening every day. To relieve stress, Alain also started practicing shooting. Gerard bought a new luxurious car and met the woman of his dreams, whom he soon married. However, after some time, the marriage fell apart because the wife caught Gerard with his colleague. Unable to stand it, Alain was about to concrete the tunnel, but Marie stopped him. A lot of time has passed. The old neighbor's cat has passed away. Marie finally achieved the desired youth and began to try her hand at modeling. Gerard still has trouble with women. Despite everything, Marie remains with her husband. She also continues to abuse the tunnel. One day Marie noticed an ant. Her modeling career isn't taking off. Nevertheless, she keeps adding to her portfolio in the hope that some agency will notice her. The husband is her only support now. Once, he attacked the realtor right in front of clients. Soon Gerard's device broke down while driving, resulting in an accident. Marie continues to go through the tunnel again and again. However, youth has not brought her happiness. On the contrary, Marie ended up in a mental institution. Taking advantage of this, Alain sealed the hatch. The doctor visited Marie in her ward to ensure she took all her pills. He didn't notice how the patient hid the glass. When the doctor left, Marie smashed the glass on the floor and took a shard. This way, she made sure that there were ants inside her. She talked to a photo of her husband, who was fishing in the woods at that moment. Alain is the only one in this story who knew how to simply enjoy life without chasing the unattainable. The others lost everything in their pursuit of more. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel not to miss more exciting new products. Also, the authors will be pleased if you leave your opinion in the comments.